It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast. You know, on Saturdays, we play fun music and we feature great information at 993thevine.com with me, Big Rick Stewart, and music from my time at Live 105 and at KFOG. We also mix in some stories that I find kind of interesting, whether it's local music or food or tech or just kind of some cool things I think you ought to know about. It's always lots of fun. Fun music and great information happens every Saturday at 993thevine.com. And the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast features great information like this. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack, fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. It doesn't always happen that Napa Valley, Sonoma Valley, California wine grape harvest and Thanksgiving overlap. I kind of just, maybe there's still people out there harvesting some grapes. I don't know. I hope not. I think everybody's done. But you may wonder, well, how was this harvest? It seems like it wasn't that hot of a summer and kind of got a little wet there at the end, and it kind of harvest lasted a long time. Not a problem, evidently. TheDrinksBusiness.com, big headline. Despite producers beginning harvest up to a month later than usual, 2023 is looking to be one of the greats, in quotes, according to the California Vintners Report. Wow. To say that Napa winemakers are excited about the quality of the 23 vintage, quote, would be an understatement, they say. Of course, there was a wet weather at the start of the season, delayed bud break and more, but the yields were awesome, and everybody seems to be loving the quality. Exceptional quality, they say, with grapes from Valley Floor Vineyards, soft, balanced, and fresh with higher acids, and grapes from higher altitude vineyards are tiny in size with great depth of flavor. Here's a quote from Renee Airy, Vice President of Winemaking at Duckhorn. This is one of the coolest and latest vintages I've seen in the last 2 decades. The rain was much needed and helped replenish the reservoirs and nourish the vines. And she says the viticulture team were diligent in thinning and doing crop adjustments where necessary. This was a key to achieving a balanced crop and promoting ripening in a very late year. Everybody is super happy, as far as what I can tell, with the way harvest went in the growing season for 2023. Give it a few years in those oak barrels and we'll have to decide for ourselves, right? I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack at 993thevine.com. Hey, I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Thanks for hanging out today. This is a story from Insider.com. The author of this story, along with a somm, tried some celebrity rosés, 5 of them, and they say only one of them was worth buying again. One of them has a Napa Valley connection. The celebrities and their rosés came from Brad Pitt, John Legend, Cameron Diaz, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Post Malone. All right, first up is Miraval, which is Brad Pitt. Angelina Jolie was involved in this project. In the somm's opinion, the former couple's rosé, which cost $28 a bottle, isn't worth going to court over. Ooh. So maybe not so good. Next up on the list, In Vivo X by SJP. That's Sarah Jessica Parker. The guy that wrote this says, it was so acidic, it has a long finish, so the acid lingered in my mouth, which I disliked. They say the flavor was simply too sour for me to drink very much of it. So Sarah Jessica Parker's rosé, thumbs down. Post Malone, his rosé didn't do so well. The somm identified some soft peach notes on the nose, but the other reviewer said, I felt like I was drinking water. Thumbs down on that one. Now, here's the one that I actually like. I really like this wine. And together with the folks at Raymond, John Legend has a line of wines called LVE. And I really like the rosé. They say, notes of strawberry and nectarine on the palate with a peach blossom, apricot, and raspberry nose. They say it was good and it was enjoyable. That almost took first place, but the wine they really liked was Abilene, and that is from Cameron Diaz. It is kind of like a natural, organic wine and all that good stuff. They all run about $25 a bottle, not too expensive. Try your favorite and try that John Legend LVE. I really like it. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Rosé all day here at 993thevine.com. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. How about this from Tasting Table? French toast shots are the genius way to drink the brunch treat. All right, first of all, don't drink and drive. Certainly, definitely not this one. A French toast shot. I didn't know about this. I never heard of this one. It's a drink made from equal parts of butterscotch schnapps, Fireball, and Irish cream. Oh, man. Now they're suggesting maybe, some additions to kind of customize this. How about rims of cinnamon sugar? How about actually pouring some syrup into the bottom of the glass? Kind of one of those multi-layered things going on. A dot of cream, a little pumpkin spice, all kinds of good things. They say even maybe some banana schnapps to add to the mix and more. I don't know. Now, once you start getting into the world of schnapps, if you're not familiar with this, they're flavored and they taste delicious. And here's the thing. They are so easy to drink. It is like danger, danger, danger. Will Robinson. Look out. And I never heard of this one, but I don't know. Maybe try this and get a ride home. Do not drive after having your French toast shot. Definitely not after 2 or 3. All right, I'm Big Rick Stewart. Cheers. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. This sounds crazy. Fireball at 993thevine.com. Hey, I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information. You got a metalhead in your life? Or maybe you're a metalhead. I don't know. I was reading the MetalSucks.com website, and they have lots of great news about rock and roll stories and more. And they had this crazy ultimate 2023 holiday gift guide for metalheads. Are you ready? The first one I have, and I use all the time, and I've used a variation of these like for many years, like many years. Vibes, they're recommending Vibes high fidelity concert earplugs. When you have these earplugs in, you can still hear the music, believe me. But you can also hear people talking next to you, and nothing sounds super muffled. Earplugs at rock and roll concerts, or for me, just about any concert, is just a great thing to have. StubHub gift card, so they can go see some live music. All right, I like that one. Metal Blade, which is a record label, has some discounted releases available right now for your metalhead fans, including bands like Cattle Decapitation, Behemoth, Between the Buried and Me, Guar, Unearth, and many more. They say exclamation point. I have not heard of all those bands either. They recommend a turntable, always good. This one is kind of trippy. How about some soap? There's a company called Corpse Paint Soap that has a soap in the images of various metal icons like King Diamond and more. That's kind of wild. There are a couple of tea companies. One that has a tea called Testament, and also another one from the Satanic Tea Company. And Guar has their espresso coffee, and Metallica has blackened whiskey. Holy moly. You didn't see that one coming, did you? I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Or maybe you did. At 99.3 The Vine. Hey, I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. All right. If you're a selfie person, I think people either are or they are not. Some people take a lot of photos on their phone and they share, but some people only take photos of themselves and share that. And that's fine. Hey, whatever, right? According to the Los Angeles Times celebrity news outlet TMZ, TMZ, they actually have Hollywood tours. Well, now they've launched their latest venture in the form of a new daily selfie tour of Hollywood. TMZ hooking up with you to take you on a selfie tour. It costs $59, and the company will show you around Hollywood's most iconic buildings and all those backdrops where you want to get a selfie. They're going to take you there. And they'll also give you some tips on how do they say in this article, improve your selfie game. The light is in a certain direction and the angles and all that stuff like that. They'll help you out so you get some killer Hollywood selfies. They say that a few months ago, they were out and about in Hollywood, in West Hollywood, and they thought they saw these young people taking selfies at all these locations. And they thought, well, we could help them out and put together a tour and go to all these really cool places. And so that's what they have done. TMZ says it gives guests a chance to be a star in their own right in front of these locations that so many other influencers and celebrities have taken photos in front of. Along the way, we're giving some tips here and there on how to get your best shot and where to stand and all that good stuff. For your next Hollywood selfie trip, they got you covered. Hey, maybe we could use that here in Napa Valley. I don't know. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack at 99.3 The Vine. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me. Did you hear this story about Sammy Hagar getting together with some pretty big famous musicians like Michael Anthony, Jason Bonham, and then Joe Satriani, who would play Eddie Van Halen's guitar parts, and they would all go out on tour and do these Van Halen songs. It would be great. And then everybody got even more excited when Sammy Hagar was on Howard Stern's show and said, hey, if David Lee Roth goes out, well, he can't sing my stuff, but he can sing some of those early Van Halen songs. And Sammy Hagar says, I got no problem with that. Wow, so everybody thought this would be great. We can have David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar on tour singing these Van Halen songs. Well, somebody asked him about it on social media, and Sammy Hagar said, yeah, let me kind of clarify this. There is no effing way that he's going to come out on tour with us. Sammy Hagar says he can come out and sing a song on a show or two if he can remember the words. Ooh, that's kind of a dig, right? But he's not invited on the tour. I know better than to have him on tour again. Been there, done that. So everybody's kind of excited, thinking they would both be on shows, and then maybe not so much. And I think, like, come on, if he says that, there's no way at all that's going to happen. I think Diamond David Lee Roth should get his own band together and maybe do something, I don't know, or just kind of kick back and enjoy life. Maybe that's a good idea. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack at 99.3 The Vine. Well, those are some stories that I have featured on the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Tune in at 8 a.m. every Saturday at 993thevine.com. I'm Big Rick Stewart here. Music from my days at Live 105 and K-Fog, some current songs, lots of surprises, and more. It's always lots of fun. We have a 10 at 10, a Beatles brunch at noon. It happens all day. The Wine Country Saturday soundtrack and the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack podcast. Tell your friends, and thanks for listening to this podcast, and thanks for checking out 993thevine.com.